Hey guys, I want to shoot a video, it's basically a series on the renovation of this 80s Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul. If you've come to the site in reference to anything related to machine work and engine building, marine engine building, this video will have nothing to do with that, nor with the series. So anyway, I just want to get that out of the way. Rick, I'm primarily doing this video for you, of course, so you can make note of the documentation of the renovation. And if anything, as they say in the latter days, there will be mockers and scoffers. And I know a lot of people have kind of mocked and scoffed about this project, so we're going to bring it back to life, and this may end up being a very long series, probably 20, 30 videos by the time we get it finished. But the more I thought about it after our discussion today, probably will take it up to Nashville and put it in one of the studios, and we'll do some videos of us running her through the races, or running her through the laps, whatever that statement is. So anyway, with that out of the way, I'm going to talk about the guitar a little bit. I've spent most of the evening with it, kind of doing some tap tone testing, and it is, as we discussed, it's pretty much dead for the most part in most places, but where it is good, it is actually excellent. So I'm going to put the camera, I'm going to put the light over here, and hopefully we'll have some good lighting as I move it around, and we can talk as I talk about it a little bit. One thing that I do want to get out of the way, I know that per the information you sent me, the neck thickness was supposed to be around 0.84 at the, I'm sorry, 0.96 at the 12th fret. It's actually 1 1/32 inch thick at the 12th fret. So considerably thicker than what the online specs are. And what I mean by that is, let me turn this around. And I'm going to try to be real careful about the shakiness of the camera. Obviously, this being the 12th fret location, let me see if I can get this out here. You notice how the curvature starts fairly quickly. It's real difficult to get a good reading directly at the 12th fret. But even when I backed up to the 11th fret, it was still just barely over 1 inch thick. So it's not as thin as online specs would claim that it is. Obviously, since the neck is completely destroyed, there's no way to gauge what it would have been at the first fret. But I will be able to map it out based on the percentage of change in thickness from where my thumb is to as it progresses down, and I'll be able to hit it pretty much within just a micro measurement. But enough with that. I did want to get that out of the way because that was pretty important, and the reason I brought that up is because, as I said, we got to be real careful about the online specs and what is out there. There's a lot of misinformation, and I've always noticed that about a lot of the luthiers. I don't know, it's kind of romantic, and they like to claim they have all the details and all the specs, but a lot of things changed, and a lot of things were just dependent upon who was behind the chisel that day, you know, and who was actually carving that neck. So anyway, let's talk about the body. The mahogany is what we do have of it is in exceptional condition. It's got great tap tones. I know I said it was pretty dead, and I'll go through some of the tap tones later on, but it's really good. The mahoganies are incredible. Obviously, all of this maple cap is very soft, but what's really incredible is once I started doing some tapping up in here, it sounded pretty good. When I say pretty good, it sounded very good, but it deteriorated. The sound quality. The sound quality deteriorated very rapidly as soon as you got past the studs. So I say that, to introduce the fact that I'm still not certain if I want to try to work with this top or just completely pull it off and recarve it, replace it. As you can see, that's fully separated. I know that you know all this, but I'm also doing this video so that that, as we mentioned today, other people can gauge the abilities that I have as a luthier and repair guy and guitar builder, as well as if you got an old Les Paul under your sofa or under your couch, I mean under your bed, don't throw it away. There's definitely hope. And I'll shoot straight with you. I don't know if I've ever seen a guitar as bad as this. Well, I've seen them, completely damaged, where they were irreparable, I guess is the word, irreparable. They were shot. But as we discussed today, where it's good, it's good. It's great. It's got a lot of cool vibe. The wear and tear is incredible. I mean, the break-in is incredible, being over 40 years old. And where it is bad, man, at least it's gone. We don't have to worry about tearing it out. All we have to do is shape the new mahogany and fit it in. And looking at the camera, I'm at about 6 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep each one of these videos under 15 minutes. I know the attention span of most people looking at something like this is probably a lot longer than you would think, because if you're watching a video like this, you're really serious about doing some major work on a guitar, and you want to see if it can even be done. And to answer that for you, it's amazing what you can bring back. And especially when you've got 40-year-old mahogany. The maple's dead, of course, but it'd be a shame to not spend the time to bring this thing back. And the fact that the neck it's gone, it's useless for the most part, other than using as a means by which I can put the mic on it and measure everything. Just like that, I found out about those thickness differences at the 12th fret by having that completely shattered neck in my hand. I was able to verify that, whoa, let's make sure we don't build this thing 0.96 at the 12th fret, because that would have been a hell of a lot too thin. So having that neck has been a great help, even though we know we can't use it. It also, well, speaking of neck, let me just grab it. Based on the fact that I've got the neck here, this is a profile I would have never done myself. It's very strange. It's very, well, let me just show you on this neck here. This is my personal guitar that I'm building. It's going to be, I'll briefly show it there. It's basically a 59 replica, but it's a 24 fret. I do a lot of tapping. I play a lot of jazz. Long tenon, massively long tenon. It's a monster. But once you see the mass of my neck versus the mass of your neck, you'll see that probably what I would have built, not having a neck in my hand, would have been nowhere near what you had or possibly even wanted. And that's what I meant last month by, what I like or might, and what we're talking about might be nowhere near, what you want once you receive it. And that'd be a horrific situation if you spent the money on the restoration and then got it home and it was, big and chunky and fat, because I like big, fat, chunky necks for jazz and stuff like that. So, and I'll try not to mention jazz anymore. So, anyway, where I'm going with this, see how round that curve is right there, and then how round it is right here. And now look at the Gibson. It's very cool. It's in a way I kind of like it. It's kind of odd, but it's extremely lightweight, very thin, very much cut down. And I so apologize for the camera work. Let me try to slow it down so I don't just get everybody seasick. See that? Huge difference. Now, this neck on the right, the new one, I always start out big and then I work them down. It would not, that's not